You attract what you haven't healed yet. Find out. Why some life stories seem to repeat themselves, like chapters in an unending book. No matter how you change cities, jobs, or relationships, there's that familiar feeling, a pain that returns with a different face, a void that stubbornly persists. And you wonder, why does this keep happening to me? The answer might lie hidden where few dare to look, in the wounds that haven't yet healed. Perhaps you've already tried to change. Read books, listen to self-help audios, practiced affirmations, made promises to yourself. And yet everything seemed to revert to its starting point. The pivotal shift occurs when you understand that the universe doesn't respond to what you say you want. It responds to what you truly feel, even if you're unaware of it. Today, I want to guide you on a journey that begins within, where all the answers reside. Let's unravel together how emotional wounds shape your vibration and why they possess the power to attract repetitive patterns. Stay with me until the end, because by grasping this truth, you don't merely liberate yourself, you awaken. The law of attraction is not driven by desire, but by vibration. You can affirm 1,000 times that you want peace, but if deep down you harbor resentment, guilt, or anxiety, what you're truly emitting to the universe is turbulence. The law of attraction isn't propelled by words or good intentions. It's sculpted by your vibrational frequency, the energetic field you carry silently, even when the world perceives a smile on your face. I recall a woman who daily declared to her mirror, "I deserve true love." Yet, inwardly, she still felt inadequate, still burdened by guilt from an abusive past relationship. The result? She continued to attract emotionally unavailable men. Only when she looked within and began to heal that wound of self-deprecation did her energy shift, and with it, the nature of what she attracted. What you feel deeply is what the universe understands as truth, and that's precisely why healing emotions isn't a mere spiritual luxury. It's a necessity for anyone seeking to co-create a different life. Everything begins when you learn to vibrate with authenticity and clarity. The unconscious is the true co-creator of your reality. Carl Jung famously stated, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." What does this mean? Much of what you attract isn't a product of conscious decision-making, but rather ingrained memories, pains and beliefs residing in the subconscious, operating silently and subtly. A client once confided that since childhood, she'd heard her mother repeatedly declare, "Men are no good." She vowed never to rely on anyone. However, subconsciously, she developed a pattern of attracting destructive relationships, not by choice, but because that childhood belief vibrated within her like an unspoken mantra. Recognizing this was liberating. She wasn't unlucky in love. She was merely repeating unconsciously learned patterns. The unconscious harbors our deepest wounds, but also the keys to our healing. When you allow yourself access to it, through introspection, journaling, therapy, or meditation, you begin consciously co-creating your life. You cease being a prisoner of ingrained patterns and start making choices with conscious awareness. The universe does not punish you. It reveals where to heal. We often perceive adversity as punishment when things don't unfold as planned. However, the universe has no interest in retribution. It is a vibrational mirror. It reflects what is active within us. Through experiences, it reveals where we need to cultivate greater truth and compassion. I've heard the story of a man who consistently attracted dishonest business partners. He lost money 3 times in succession. When he introspected, he realized his fear of betrayal was so deeply rooted that he could only trust those who, unconsciously, validated that fear. By healing his insecurity, his intuition sharpened, and for the first time, he chose an honest partner, someone who, too, felt whole. You are not being punished, you are being revealed. And although this may seem challenging, it is a loving act of life guiding you. Repetitive pain isn't meant to harm you, it's meant to awaken you. Repetition is the mechanism of healing. Repeating patterns are not accidents. They are unconscious scripts awaiting a new ending. Repetition is life's invitation for you to finally make a different choice. And this choice is only possible when you become aware of the pattern. A woman who always felt invisible at work once told me, "I've changed companies 4 times, and in all of them, no one recognizes my effort." Exploring her history, we discovered that since childhood she'd heard, "Children must be quiet," and she grew up believing that being seen was wrong. Healing began when she recognized that she needed to allow herself to shine, not waiting for validation, but acknowledging herself first. You are here to break cycles. Pain does not want to imprison you. It wants to transform you. When you say enough with love, the pattern no longer finds fertile ground within you, and thus, healing begins to take effect. How to identify what has yet to be healed? Unhealed wounds leave traces, and the signs are clearer than we imagine. Disproportionate reactions, emotional triggers, intense feelings of anger, fear, or sadness in certain situations. All of these are beacons pointing inward. Discomfort is a compass. It reveals where your attention needs to focus. I met a young man who would erupt in anger whenever criticized. Investigating, he discovered that in childhood, he was constantly devalued by his father. Every criticism today activated the old wound that said, "You are never good enough." Understanding this, he was able to separate the past from the present and regain control of his emotions. Healing came with recognition, not with the effort of controlling himself. If you want to know what still needs attention, listen to your pain. Ask yourself, where does this come from? What does it represent? Who taught me this feeling? Clarity will come when you stop running from pain and decide to know it as part of your story, but no longer as something that defines you. Your wound does not want to sabotage you. It wants to be heard. What sabotages you today may have once protected you. Fear of relinquishing, the blockade of receiving love, resistance to success, often arose as forms of self-preservation. The wound does not seek to destroy you. It craves acknowledgement. It only cries out because it hasn't yet been heard with empathy. There was a woman who, whenever she received something good, felt anxious, as if she were unworthy. We discovered that in childhood, she learned that everything that comes easily goes away quickly. Her healing began when, in a simple exercise, she wrote a letter to her inner child saying, "Now you can receive without guilt, without fear. It's okay." It was transformative. The secret lies in this. Do not fight your pain. Talk to it. Give it space. Because what is unacknowledged transforms into resistance, and what is embraced transforms into strength. When healing occurs, reality transforms. When you heal a wound, the universe responds immediately. Not because it has changed, but because your frequency has changed. And now, what once encountered you, pain, scarcity, abandonment, no longer resonates within you. You become a new point of attraction. A man who always felt betrayed by his friends one day decided to confront his own fear of trust. He discovered that his constant distrust prevented him from forming deep connections. He began to work on his inner security, and gradually friendships began to evolve. The right people arrive, not because the world changed, but because he stopped expecting betrayal and began to resonate with trust. Your external reality is merely a reflection of your inner world. When you heal from within, doors open from the outside. The flow begins, and life finally responds with lightness. The new you attracts new realities. Every time you heal a part of yourself, you alter your vibrational signature. And this new frequency begins to attract new experiences, new people, new possibilities. There is no effort. There is fluidity. Because now your energy is no longer trapped in the past. People who once undervalued you begin to naturally distance themselves. Situations that placed you in a state of scarcity simply vanish. And previously unseen opportunities begin to emerge. Why? Because you are no longer trying to prove your worth. You recognize that worth within yourself, and the universe simply reflects that back. That's the true magic of healing. It doesn't merely resolve yesterday, it constructs a new tomorrow. A tomorrow vibrating with abundance, lightness, and deservedness. If you've made it this far, congratulations. Not because the video is ending, but because it demonstrates that a part of you is ready to break free from cyclical patterns. A part of you that has grown weary of repeating narratives and now desires to pen a new chapter with greater awareness, love, and truth. Remember, you attract that which you haven't yet healed. But the good news is that now you possess the power to alter this vibrational state with kindness, with presence, with courage. If this message has resonated with your heart, take a deep breath and declare to yourself, I choose to heal. And if it resonates in your heart, share this video with someone who needs it. Transformation begins within, and you have already begun.